Hello, and here's a very, very warm and a hearty welcome to all the chartered accountants who are attending this webinar. On behalf of the Corporate Laws and the Corporate Governance Committee of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, I take great pleasure in extending a very warm and a very hearty welcome to all of you to this webinar on the MCA 21 version 3 launch. We're going to be joined by Sri Manoj Pandey, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Company Affairs, who's heading this project for the conversion. So, as you might all be aware, on March 8th, the version 3 of the MCA portal. We've had version 1 earlier, then we are on version 2, and then the version 3 was launched only for LLPs in a phased manner. Now, I'm very happy to let you know that the form filing in LLPs have been fantastic, except for a few user glitches. And if you have any glitches, you may please write to us at clcgc@ici.in. And these seem to be one-off, very user-specific cases, especially in relation to user data that's been pushed into the earlier system or not pushed into the earlier system, and we'll be very happy to help. Now, as it stands, the company modules are going to go live very, very shortly. And the further details would be given by Rohit Bhatt. Also take this opportunity to welcome the team from the technical side who's assisting MCA in this implementation, which is L&T Infotech. We're joined by a team of very, very eminent and more than eminent, very, very dedicated team from LTI who's been working with us on this project. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to Rohit Bhatt, Richa Gupta, Vijaya, and others whom I see here. And so in terms of the version 3, it's a very, very enhanced version as compared to version 2. Enhanced in two ways. One is the forms are online. So you just have to keep filling it online. And a substantial amount of the data is pre-filled. And then you save, download the form, attach the digital signature. So it's supposed to be a fairly simple process going forward in the long run. And it's also going to be very helpful to the MCA because they're planning to mount a lot of data analytics and artificial intelligence to ensure that there is larger compliance with the law, which has always been a problem, the manner of enforcement. So the only advice that MCA would like us to pass on to you is that, please be very meticulous in filling these forms. And version 3 also comes with one significant change. In version 2, you could upload a form either as a registered user or as a business user. But today, in version 3, you can upload forms only as a business user. And these are the two large kind of changes that you are going to come across. But otherwise, most of the forms are the same. It's just that there would be a lot more pre-fill and a lot more validation. In fact, somebody was just mentioning to me that the income tax forms have been very, very good because they do a lot of validation internally so that there are no errors in filing forms. And here again, you don't have to keep filling it up every time, especially the long forms. So I'm told more than 1 lakh of Form 11 forms have got filed by the extended due date, and many other forms are in progress. But having said this earlier, if you have any issues in specific filing on LLPs, please reach out to clcgc@ici.in and we'll have it escalated to LTI. Now, for the company forms, ICI again is doing a slew of initiatives. And this is the first time, and it's fairly historic. ICI is actually working with the MCA and LTI to do dedicated testing. Because we realize that if there are hiccups and glitches, the most impacted are our own members, which we understood in the course of the income tax forms which got implemented, also a little bit in the LLP segment. So, ICA is very, very strongly working with both the MCA and LTI to enable this process. I'd like to also at this point extend a very warm and a hearty welcome once again to Sri Manoj Pandey ji, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, who's been relentlessly working to make this project happen. And it's over to Pandey ji now. May I request you to unmute, sir? also extend a
Yeah.
warm welcome to Mr. Sri Kumar, Joint Director MCA, who's on this webinar here. Could I please?
एडिशनल सेक्रेटरी मैम को डायरेक्टर इसका चार्ट दिया है एडिशनल एक पर्पल में सर डीओपीटी है डीओपीटी पर्पल में बनना है पर जिसमें साइन होता है तो मैडम साइन करवा नहीं सकते सर इसलिए आपसे
Good afternoon.
So may we request you to adjust your camera a little bit so that we can see you.
Is it okay now? Yeah. Good afternoon, CL and CGC team of ICI led by Madam Savla and Shri Priya, and also Harika Singhal, who is there with us. I think we are connected with all the chartered accountant friends on this call, along with other professionals also, maybe from Company Secretary Institute and Cost Accounts Institute. We are going to have this regular webinar series starting from today, maybe today by Chartered Accountant Institute, followed by one by Company Secretary Institute, and thereafter by Cost Accounts Institute, and one on Saturday we are going to have by Ministry of Corporate Affairs, along with all other institutes together. I'll just take 2 minutes before the technical team starts sharing the presentation, and all other dear professional friends also participate in these deliberations, and they would have certainly some questions in mind, maybe that would be answered by our technical and domain team. There are certain changes which have happened in between. As you are aware, between V2 and V3, version 2 and version 3, and broadly the changes are as follows. One, but for incorporation forms, the form filing is restricted only to business users. That is one change which has happened. So first requirement to file any form, be it LLP, which has been launched on 8th of March this year, or the company forms, which are going to be launched in phases starting from 21st of August, when 9 forms would be launched, is the registration process. That is, you have to register yourself as a business user before you actually start transacting and filing the form. The first sets of 9 forms which are going to be deployed would also be discussed here in presentation. That would be the charge form, DPT 3, DPT 4, Director 3 KYC, and Director Web KYC. Please register yourself as a business user. Many of the professional friends have already registered themselves as business users because we see the progression on that account. Earlier, any registered user could have filed the form, which has been restricted now to user in version 3. Before 31st August, the requirement would be that as all professional friends should get registered as business user, and also request the directors of the companies whom they audit or for whom they are filing the forms or certifying the forms also to register as a business user, because through you only that message can go to the directors. Apart from the efforts which we are making through our own machinery, it's important that the Chartered Accountant fraternity, the Company Secretary fraternity, and Cost Accounts fraternity also, through their own channels, request the directors of the companies to register as a business user. So friends, the first requirement, as I am repeating, is to convert yourself into business user well before 31st of August. Because once the forms are rolled out, at that point of time, if you are converting yourself as a business user, you will find in fact, the two processes which are happening. One, conversion into a business user, and then the form filing. It's better that you do that early, before 31st of August at the earliest, maybe starting from today itself. The second change which has happened is conversion from all the PDF forms into web forms. Now, all these forms would be web-based forms, and as you would be aware that web-based forms, they would have their own validations. So the forms would be visible, and you can see the validations on the internet itself, on the net, when you are connected. It's going to be a web-based form like in LLP forms which you have seen. So far in LLP forms, we have seen a tremendous growth as compared to the last year's forms, and the total number of forms which have been filed are much more than the last year. There could be some additional, one or two additional fields, or there could be removal of one or two attachments which have been converted into electronic form to capture the data and to ease out the process. That would be explained by the technical team. We are going to launch these 9 forms with effect from 31st August midnight. So that would be basically 1st of September when the forms would be available. And we are doing it in phases. First 9 forms followed by many other forms to be launched, and so on and so forth. Please raise queries during this webinar itself so that they can get answered. And I'll request Chartered Accountant Institute also to spread the message through their regional chapters, through zonal chapters, through their units which are at different places, so that everybody gets sensitized. With these words, I welcome you all in this webinar, and I am personal thanks to the CL and CGC team of ICAI, led by Sri Priya, Madam Savla, and their competent team. They are associated with us since launch of LLP, and thanks a lot for your continuous support. Over to you. Thank you very much.
Here today, and it adds, it just shows how committed the government is to making things happen. JS sir has been repeatedly saying everything should be for user convenience. So all our focus has been to ensure that it's a delight for the user to use this platform and do so correctly. Could I request Sri Kumar sir to speak a few words if he would like to speak to us, please?
Yeah, good afternoon, madam. Good afternoon, friends. I'm more happy to be a part of this webinar once again in continuation to our LLP V3 module implementation as a part of commitment given to the Parliament and as a part of mandate of Government of India. We are rolling out with this company module V3 from 31st of August onwards. During this first phase, we are planning to implement around 9 company module forms. That is CHG1, CHG4, CHG6, CHG8, CHG9, DPT3, DPT4, DR3 KYC, and DR3 KYC web form. So, of course, we have taken all the learnings, whatever we have faced during our LLP module implementation, and all those issues have been resolved in this company module. Hopefully, there will not be any much challenges in company module implementation to the stakeholders. and there is no much change we can find during this company module forms transition. Mostly, the new inclusion is we have enabled the liquidator and resolution professionals to sign this charge-related forms where the companies are under CIRP process. And besides, there is no much change, and there will not be any more challenges when we speak about the transition of V2 forms to V3 forms. Let me see, and our technical team will guide you through all the E forms. Thank you so much. Thank you. Over to Rohit ji.
Thank you, sir. I don't know whether Preeti ji has joined us yet. Once she comes in, she'll address, but it's over to you, Rohit. Thank you very much for being here today. Rohit is part of the L&T team, and he's playing a pivotal role in this actual implementation. And we work very, very closely with him on the user acceptance testing and all the support that we need to make this a success. So it's over to Rohit.
Thank you very much, ma'am, and good afternoon to everyone. We are just meeting again after a long time. Once the new go live that is going on, as JSR was mentioning, the reason why we have chosen the screen is visible, ma'am.
Yes, it is, Rohit.
Okay, so why we have chosen login and registration again is something that we all need to understand. Now, this company module or the company forms, which are 9 of them, which we are launching on 31st of August, they will have to go through the new portal, which is the V3 portal, and the login has to happen through the new portal. So those 9 forms will not be accessible through your old company registration, company earlier portal. You have to log in into the new portal itself. The other reason was that there are a lot many users who may have still not migrated to the new portal itself. So that is the reason we are trying to give one more session on this, although we have done number of sessions on the login and registration. So it is important that we are doing this session along with the company as well. So as JSR was mentioning, since login, DSC, and your DSC association, all those things are login based services now. So it's important that directors, professionals, everybody is now migrated or creating or either migrate, or if they don't have IDs in the V2 system, they have to create a fresh their IDs into the V3 portal is something we would recommend. And that has to happen before the go live of the companies. So I have so today's topic, although we'll cover in the login registration type of users we have added one more role as well once we went live on 8th of March, which is professional staff as well. So we'll just little bit have a discussion on all the roles that we have in V3. I have specifically focused today director registration and professional registration because these are the two registration, and the process remains same for others as well. So we have picked these two roles for this. For the migrated users who are coming from V2 to V3, they have to go there and update your profile. So I'll be covering the profile update page as well. And DSC again, if you have to do a filing in V3 portal, every user has to associate his DSC, and against one user ID, there will be only one DSC association that will happen. And then my colleagues Richa and Vijaya will run you through the company module in detail, the form wise. So if you see the types of users that we have in V3, there are registered users. Although there is not much change from the earlier one to this one, registered users. The only thing is that if you are filing any incorporation form, whether it is so for this, you have to have a business user. For registered users in LLP, for example, we were having only two things: the LLP forms within LLP. Only the run form and fill form was supposed to be filed by the registered user. Rest of all of the form filing has to happen through the business user only. So similarly, we have company and LLP users and director and designated partner users. We have professionals. We have manager, secretary, authorized representatives. We have office in default. We have nodal officers, IPF. We have deputy nodal officer, again IPF. We have professional staff. So last user which we are talking about, this is something new. This is although we have given the FAQs and earlier as well, this was launched somewhere in April, but this is something a professional staff which which refers to person who is on the behalf of professional as a staff is being associated with them. So maybe the trainees within that particular program, within that particular professional institute, or maybe the non-professional members as well of that particular firm as well. So that is what as of now the complete user set that we have. So once we migrate, these will be the, if you're migrating from V2 to V3, you have to choose one of these user set. And if you are creating a fresh, you have to create any one of this. There are some mandatory fields that we have made during the registration time, be it PAN number, first name, last name, and phone numbers. OTP has been made mandatory for every if you are registering afresh with us. So all those things are an important part while we do the registration or migration from earlier user to this user. We have also made it mandatory that for the first time you will also have to the OTP will go to your email and as well as on your phone number. So make sure your phone number and your email ID should be active, so that your whatever emails or whatever phone numbers you have put in Me2 or the earlier system, those phone numbers and email ID should be valid. Let's say example, if there are if your phone number is not valid, if your email is not valid, I would request to raise a ticket on the MCA help desk and make sure that you are getting it corrected before the go live of these company forms. Otherwise you won't be able to get in the system. Your entry grade itself will stop. So make sure whatever has to happen with the while doing the upgradation, be it PAN number, be it email ID, be it your phone number, all those has to happen upfront. And make sure, I would request all the friends here, please do that. And that will help us as well as you to make sure that we don't have any hindrances when we go live, as well as for your form filing as well. So I will just pick one of the user out of directors first. So this is the page that will be again there. You have to go to sign up. This, once you open the website, you will have a sign up page. You will just click on this. You will register here. We'll be changing this, because this company is also going. We'll change this message on the top. We are still working on this. What should be the message? But we'll change this because this was only for the LLP filing. We have to change it for maybe we'll just put a message for company as well for the first set. So that we are discussing still internally. So we'll make sure those filing has or the login for these 9 forms will happen through this link only. However, this company filing for rest of the forms except this 9 will still be done through this link only, which is below. So that is still, there's still most of the forms are still in V2 because there's a scattered approach that we have taken this time to make sure that the forms are getting migrated in a scattered approach. So these 9 forms will be logged in through this. If you're already an registered user with us, you don't have to be it business or registered, you don't have to create a fresh. You have to just click on the login, put in your username password, which has been based on the V3 username and password. You will be able to get in. However, if you have to do the earlier, please click on the below link of company filings. You will be routed to the earlier portal and then you will be able to do the filing. However, if you want to register afresh with us, you have to use this register button and then probably you have to go through all the processes. So I have we will just run 2 of the user profiles, how this registration looks like. So once I put this, let's say I put the director's registration, I'll just click on the director's registration. I'll just give the first page I will get is this one, where PAN is not mandatory for business users selecting director or designated partner role. So there is no PAN mandatory here. We have kept it not a mandatory. However, the DPIN and the DIN number has been kept as mandatory. So you will put DPINs as a mandatory field for director partner roles. Similarly, your first name, middle name, and last name should be in capital letters. Please make sure that is being done. For director roles, please ensure provide detail as per the MCA database. That's a request. Whatever name was there in your earlier database, please make sure, or DIR3 KY, DIR3, whatever name that you have put over there, please make sure that name has been put in the similar fashion here as well. Similarly, you will have the mobile number and email ID as a mandatory field. You have to make sure you are putting it here. If your phone numbers and the email ID I was there already in the director's database with us, it will get pre-filled. The mobile number will also be pre-populated from the MCA database. So make sure that this is where I was talking about. If email ID or phone number, which is getting pre-filled from our database, if they are not matching or they are not valid, please make sure you raise a ticket with us. We'll make sure that your phone and email IDs are updated. You yourself cannot change it because these are not editable fields. That has to happen, and request you to do it before the go live. So you will have provide the password and a hint answer as well. So if you are coming as a fresh, you have to choose a hint question. Hint question will be helpful, when you forget your username and password, applies for password recovery later on. So I want to emphasize on this page a lot, because since this particular module is already live, and there are a lot many questions being raised that their hint questions, they are not aware about the hint answer that they have put in. So this field is an encrypted field. So for within our database, let's examine this hint answer test, which is mentioned here, is an encrypted field within us. Even I, as a technical person or a database, wherever this data is, I cannot see your hint answer at all. So I would request that whatever hint answer, and there is also a first name and last name also being mentioned. If you're forgetting your password, first letter and the last letter. So for example, if you are forgetting your hint answer, in this case, TEST, your first T, the capital T, which is in capital, and the last T, which is in small letters, will be still visible in your hint answer. The first and last letter will be visible. You have to pick the in between the answer that you have given it. I would again request, please make sure your hint questions and answers that you have put earlier, please remember them. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for you to log in, because these are encrypted information within MCA database. We cannot pull this data for specific, because we are not allowed to see any of the encrypted information of the users. So that's a request, and we are getting a lot many requests on this. We are trying to see that what is the other way around to fix this. But as of now, I would request to make sure your hint question answers you are remembering yourself. So once that is put in your director registration, you will update all the information, your phone numbers, your hint question answers, your emails, your address, everything has been updated. You will receive the OTP on your phone and well email. So if you see it here, it is and here, mobile number and email ID. If it is an and, then you have to put both these OTPs. For example, if you are logging it for the first time on your new machine, during the login time, it will ask for a or, because it will look for an OTP either from phone or either from email. So that will suffice either one of them OTP. However, here it is and. So please make sure your phone number, either one of them, if it is invalid, you won't be able to register yourself. So please make sure whatever phone number you are putting, whatever email you are putting, it should be valid and it should be active. So you will receive OTP on both of them. You will enter the OTPs here, then only your registration will get successful. So you will receive the email, and this is the final message you will receive about your successfully registration of your business user or director user with us. I'll just quickly move to the professional as well, because most of the users here will be professional. I've just picked these two roles because these are the frequent roles, and we see the number has to increase on these two fronts only. Otherwise, others are also, but this is the most frequent form filings done by these two users, and this has to go up before the company go live.
Rohit, एक minute. Rohit, is there any validity of these OTPs? तो बताइएगा तो कुछ वैलिडिटी हो तो ओटीपी की।
No, there's no validity. So validity will be done only through the email as well as phone number, Sanjay sir.
नहीं ओटीपी में जैसे कि उसमें मिनट करके सेकंड्स का आ रहा है ना, तो 1 मिनट का कुछ ऐसा, क्योंकि
No, okay. So the OTP will be
confusion
valid.
ना है।
Yeah, got it. So OTP is valid for 30 minutes, sir.
तो ये इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट बताने का।
Yes, yes. So OTP is valid for 30 minutes. Although, sir, once you put it, there is a message also coming below that OTP will be valid for 30 minutes. Thank you very much, sir, for pointing this. The OTP that will be sent to your emails and phone numbers will be valid for 30 minutes. So I will just quickly move to the professional. The process will be same. However, the mandatory here between the director is that a PAN is mandatory here. And your professional membership and a professional membership institute will be mandatory for this particular role. So you'll enter this information. Similarly, you will enter your all the details, your first name, last name. Make sure again this first and last name should be as per the database in PAN. Your date of birth should also match with the PAN database. Please make sure this is being done. Although we have made it editable, but this is something that you should take care while putting your information here. We will put all the details here. Your contact details. Some of the fields will be editable. Some of the fields will be pre-filled. So you can pick this information as well from the database. Here again, confirm password, hint, question and answer. You have to pick your hint, answer, hint, question and answer. And then again, you will receive the OTPs and then it's done. So we just covered in these slides, we just covered a fresh registration who are coming within our portal as a fresh. So I will just go through the profile update page where people or users are coming from V2 to V3 and they are registered users. They want to move to the business users, or within that business user, they also wanted to move from one profile to other profile, is something that we will be covering in next couple of slides. So you'll again log in because your V2 login, the first login, if you are coming for the first time within into our MCA portal, if you are not logged in afresh, you will first log in with your V2 ID only. The system will allow to go your V2 ID. So you will come and enter your login ID. If let's say example, my details in V2 were complete. So for example, my phone number, my email ID, my address, and whatever required details from the role perspective were complete, it will not take you to the straight away to profile update page. However, if any of these fields are not being updated in the V2 database, the system will automatically take you the profile updater. So that will be a mandatory page that will go. So as soon as you log in, it will take you the profile update page. So here in this scenario, I have just logged in into the system. My details are correct. So it has not taken to my profile update page. So I will go to this hello on the top where there is where I have sign up. I have just logged in. My name will come over here. I will go here. I will press on the profile update page and I will be routed to this. So from here, I will choose the user category from registered. So the first category here will be the user where I'm registered to. So if I'm a business user, I'll be automatically shown here as a business user. If I'm a registered user, it will automatically show me a registered user. So from this drop down, I will just click on this drop down. I will select which profile I need to upgrade to, be it registered, be in business. So as soon as I'm selecting business, on the right hand side, you will see these all the drop downs will come. So be it all the users I was talking about on the top, all those names will come over here. I will just choose a role out of this, and then I will put the required information I was mentioning. So for here, we have chosen directors here. So I was mentioning DIN, PAN, all those information will be coming over here. On the left hand side, if you see, most of the fields will be editable. Whatever you want to edit, be it email, phone number, you can edit it here. Similarly, I will get, once these details are put in, my profile will be automatically updated. So it's a very small process. And whatever, because as JS sir was mentioning earlier, in V2, you were able to, as a registered user, you were able to file the forms. Your filing was was happening with the registered users. However, in new system, you have to have a business user, and we have made this 3-step process to make it sure that all the information that is required to upgrade yourself is pre-filled. Most of them are pre-filled. You just need to update your data here, be it phone number, emails, and other information. Please make sure you're putting in the right information. This now there are other validation errors that normally come if you within your V2 you had multiple a single PAN was associated with multiple IDs, or an email is also associated with multiple IDs. Please make sure you should choose one of the ID, because it will not allow you now. You have to make sure these should be the emails, PANs should be unique. Otherwise, system will not allow you to enter into system. So that is the validation you will get when you will be migrating. Make sure that email IDs, PAN numbers are unique. So I also wanted to quickly touch base on the DSE association. The DSE association, the difference that we have the DSE from the earlier to new system is, earlier in V2 you were associating DSEs with number of IDs, or single IDs could have associated number of DSEs. But here in this new system, you cannot do that. For one user ID, there will be only one DSE to be associated, and whosoever is signing the digitally putting his signatures in the form, be it director, be it professional, he or she should be a registered user with MCA. Then only his DSE validation or DSE success will be done. If he or she is not associated with us, in be it a director, be it a professional, the system will throw an error that this DSE is not associated with us. You won't be able to file the form. So it's important you create, if they are not a registered user or any of the user category with us, please make sure those all directors are being registered with us and their DSEs are associated, so that the filing can be smooth. So for DSE as well, the process is simple. Go to the MCA services. This is only after login. Okay, if in this case, if we see hello Harshita on the top, that means this user has logged in. Make sure that whosoever is associating a DSE in V3, it's a login based services. You have to log in first. So you will log in first, hover on the MCA services, go to the FO LLP services. Under that, there's an associate DSE service that is available. You will click on that. You will get this message. Once this message, you have to pick up. If we have given an extra option of, you can update or install the latest DSE WebSocket installer. You can also have Mbridge updated from here as well. So these two options or links we have given to make sure the users these are also available on our portal as well. So once you click on this, you will go to this page where you can download the eSigner, Mbridge, and also you can change your PIN as well. So you'll get to this page where you have to identify or select your token, certificate details, and password. Once this is done, you will see these three messages coming in. Once you click on the token, and then similarly the password and the other information is fed in. So once this information is fed in, you will get a message of congratulations and your DSE will be associated. I just wanted to focus a little bit of last message on a DSE part of it on this. So let's say example, I am Rohit Bhatt and I have associated my DSE onto my systems, which is my DSE. So let's say example, with this login ID, I am associating some other DSEs, let's say example, Vijaya's DSE as well, and it is going successful. So in this scenario, Rohit Bhatt's original DSE will go out automatically because it will be taken over by Vijaya's with the same IDs. So please don't repeat this mistake, because we have seen this while LLP go live itself. People are still, or users are still using the same practice of earlier, that they are associating their DSE with a single ID, thinking that their DSE will be associated. No, because the earlier DSEs will replace them, and with that, the earlier DSEs will not get validated with the system. So one user, one DSE is something that we, as a new terminology, we also all need to adhere to, and this will help us to make sure our data clarity and data cleansing is happening as well. So thank you very much from my side. I will just hand over to Richa and Vijaya from here onwards, who will be running you through the company forms go live.
Okay, thank you, Rohit. Fine. So, Vijaya, can you share your screen?
Yeah, Rich. I hope you can see my screen, Rita.
Yes.
Yeah, Rich.
Now we are not able to see yet, Vijaya.
Is it visible now, Richa?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, it is
yes, Vijaya.
visible.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. From LTI side, it gives us immense pleasure to announce that we are going to launch a company module on our new V3 platform. So as a part of this release, 9 forms will be rolled out on MCA website on 31st August 2022. So as mentioned by JS sir and Shripriya madam already, all these forms will be web forms and will be quite user friendly. We have segregated company form releases in phases. In the first release, we have covered charge forms, deposit forms, and director KYC forms. Basically, the rationale behind this segregation of company form releases is to ensure more stability in system. We want to ensure that all the basic user queries and issues will be resolved before we go ahead with the full-fledged launch of all the remaining 100 company forms. Since these 9 forms have less dependency on other company forms, and therefore there would be less interdependency of master data and reversing issues. And it would be an easier and error-free task for all of us. There would be minimum or no rule changes for these 9 forms. One important point to note is that these 9 forms constitute the 35% of the total filing on MCA portal. And this release will enable the entire professional fraternity to have confidence on company module. Now I would request Vijaya to take you all through these 9 forms from functional perspective.
Thank you, Richa. Good afternoon, everyone. So I hope you all can see my screen.
Yeah, Vijaya, please put in
Yeah.
presentation mode.
So 9 forms. So basically, we start with set 1 forms. We have covered as explained by Richa and Jason. So we have included all charge forms which are there in charge management, that is HE 1, 4, 6, 8, 9, and DPT deposits module, which covers 2 forms, DPT 3 and DPT 4, and 2 DIR 3 forms which are relating to KYC compliance, that is DIR 3 KYC E form and DIR 3 KYC web form. So now we will take one by one form and we will explain you what are all the changes. So even though we've mentioned there are not many changes happened in V3 forms when compared with V2, but there is some structural changes and some enhancements have been made in V3 forms for to ensure that the forms would get filed with ease. So we will just take you through the layout of V2 and V3 for a couple of forms, and we will try to explain you the enhancements that we have made, or the changes that we have made, or the attachments, what are all the attachments we have removed, or what all changes, actually the high-level changes that are happened in these forms from V3 point of view in all these 9 forms. So to begin with, we'll start with CHG1 form. So this is one of the charge creation or modification form, which is required to be filed for other than debentures. So CHG1 form, as we all know, there is no change happened as far as processing type is concerned. So we have 2 types of processing, right? STP, non-STP, and conditional STP. CHG1 form is conditional STP form. So as we all know, and there is no change happened as far as processing type is concerned in CHG1 form. So which means the form would get processed under STP mode if both company signatory and the charge holder signs the form. So then it gets processed under STP mode only. And if charge holder is filing the form without the DSC of company or the company signatory, then the form would go to non-STP mode, which is currently happening in V2 also. So there is no change as far as processing type is concerned. And now with respect to the enhancements that are happened in the layout, So I'll just open the form layout of B2 and B3 simultaneously, and I'll just take you through changes. So as we've mentioned, the first enhancements that we have made is the form. All forms in B3 are web-based forms. Unlike in B2, only incorporation forms and IPF5 and run LLP, those are web-based. Now, all the e-forms would be web-based e-forms only in B3 system. So that is one of the major enhancements that we have made. And this point is applicable for all the forms of all these nine forms which we are talking about as part of set 1 and all the remaining sets also. And now the next enhancement that we have made is, we have actually, if you look at the V2 layout, there is one attachment which is talking about the particulars of joint charge holders. So whenever charge is created against the joint charge holders, so currently in V2 system, so we are asking the user to give those joint charge holder details as an attachment. So in V2 system currently, so as you can see, the same attachment in the, this is a V2 layout. Give me 1 second. So this is the layout of V2 system. So here you can see one mandatory attachment, which is whenever you select, you have a joint charge folder, then system will ask you to attach the joint charge folder details as a mandatory attachment, conditional mandatory attachment. The attachment number also. You can see this is the attachment number, particulars of all joint charge folders. So now I'll show you the V3 layout. In V3, what we have done is we have removed that attachment and we have added the specific section which captures the joint charge folder details within the e-form itself. So there's a field called field number 8. In that, we have added the section. So you can see here, whenever number of charge holders are, joint charge holder is selected as S and number of charge holders are more than 1. So then this table will get enabled and user have to enter the details of all such joint charge holders along with their ranking and what is the property, particulars of the property charged against that each joint charge holder. So this is one of the enhancements that we have made. And here, suppose if this list is very huge, you're not even required to type in the manually. So there is one option to upload the Excel. So Excel also.
Vijay, your voice is breaking.
Hello. Is it clear now, sir? Hello, Richa?
Yes, Vijay. Yes, Vijay, it is clear now.
So list of charge holder, if the list is in huge in nature, so you can use this download Excel functionality. So which will be this Excel functionality will get open, wherein you can punch in all the details in that structured format of Excel, and you can directly upload this Excel into the form. So this is also one of the enhancements that we have made in the layout. Now let us go to the next change or enhancement that we have made. System-based email and automated reply in case of filing the charge folder. So as I mentioned, this form, CHG1 form would get processed under non-STP mode if the charge folder is signing the form without the DSC of company signatory. So in that case, it goes to non-STP, right? Now, currently, if you look at the V2 system, so what is the processing that is actually happening is, suppose let's say I am a charge folder, I am trying to file a form after 30 days of my event date without the DSC of company, then as part of the back office processing, so system will send one communication, one notification to the company's email ID, and the status of your SRN, the CHG1 SRN will be put it under pending for user response. So we will be triggering one email to the company mentioning that so-and-so charge holder have filed this form CHG1 on behalf of you. So if you have any objections, because this form came to us without your company's DSC. So if you have any objections, so you have please provide your objections or the responses within a period of 15 days. So till the time the 15 days period is over, so this SRN will be put it under pending for user response. And now this notification will get triggered from your system, but the response is basically a manual process. You have to respond it to the back office user or email ID which is provided in the notification. This is what is happening in the V2 system currently. Now in V3 going forward, we have automated this complete process of getting the response from stakeholders or the company also. So how the process is going to happen is basically non-STP processing email trigger will have, there's no change as far as triggering email is concerned, but one change that has been made in the notification is that notification email would go along with the link to the company user. So company user, as Rohit explained, we've seen different types of users. In that, one of the user is company user or LLP user. So and moreover, the company or LLP user, they will be logging in by using their, in case of Indian companies, they'll be logging in by providing this number. In case of LLPs, they'll be logging in by providing the LLP number. So what actually system does is it creates a link against the specific SRN and it will share this notification to the company user. Company user's email ID, whatever is configured in our system. So now once, suppose, let's say I have a company, suppose I have submitted, a charge holder has submitted a form and I am the company and I've got one notification mentioning that so-and-so charge holder has filed this form, so you please give your response within 15 days. So as for the current process, I have to see what is my SRN and I have to check and I have to manually provide my response. So in V3 system, so the moment I get that email will have a notification link. So the moment I click on that link, system will ask me to log in by using my company user login ID. The moment you log in by using your company login ID, all the details will get populated, which are relating to that specific SRN, like what is your company name, when did you file the form, what is your SRN. So some basic details would get refilled automatically in that based on that notification link. And you just have to provide your response on the screen only. So which will happen in the application history dashboard. So you will be providing your response and you just have to click on submit button. So the moment you submit, and you will be given an option to file some attachments also. If you want to give some details as in the form of attachment, you can add attachments also in the same web screen. And the moment you click on the submit button, all the response or the comments or the attachments, whatever the details that you have given as part of that web service response, everything will get automatically attached to your existing CHG1 SRN. So this is one of the functionality that we have automated completely end to end, which is not actually happening currently in V2 system. And this functionality of automated reply is implemented across all the forms, all the 3 forms, that is CHG1 for creation or modification for charges other than debentures, and CHG4 for satisfaction, and CHG9 for creation and modification rectification for debentures, creation of modification of debentures. In all the 3 forms, this functionality is implemented. Then the next enhancement is relating to the signing of these forms, company CHG1 form by IRP, RP liquidator for companies which are under liquidation or under CIRP. So currently in V2 system, you will not get to see this option of a designation called IRP, RP liquidator anywhere in any of the forms. So going forward, you will, if your company is under liquidation or under the CIRP proceedings, so liquidator or IRP or RP can upload these forms onto MCA portal. And one more point we would like to highlight here is currently this creation, you may get it out. So now currently in V2 system, I do not have any such role called IRP, RP liquidator. How am I going to create these roles? So this role association creation or these roles creation would happen as part of your form called INC 28. So even in the current e-form, you have a specific section for IBC sections, but that's not actually creating any associations as of now in V2 system. So in V3 system, so the moment you file INC 28, either for appointment or change in designation or for cessation of any of these 3 roles, the association changes, creations, updates will automatically happen the way it happens in BIR. So this is also one of the enhancements that we have made. And then the next enhancement with respect to the layout is new charge asset types got added. So if you look at the CHG1 V3 layout, you get to see a lot of new charge asset types which got added when compared with V2 form layout. So V2 form layout, if you see, so you will get to see, I think, more than maybe 15 or I'll just show you. So these are all the charge asset types we have. Hardly more than 10 charge asset types we have, 10 or 15. But here you can get to see more than 30, 25 plus charge asset types which got added in V3 system. So you can select multiple check boxes the way it is happening in V2 system. And now other miscellaneous changes, enhancements like refilling of data, repositioning of fields, declaration changes, etc. So, for example, currently in V2 system, if you want to file any forms, you have to punch in the SIN number. Then only your name, address will get refilled. In V3 system, suppose if you are trying to file, as we mentioned, all the filings would happen with business user login only. So business users, again, we have different categories: director, designated partner, professional, manager, secretary. So depending on the designation, suppose let's say you're trying to log in with your director role, that is, you are providing your DIN number and you've registered your user ID as a director, and then going forward, you can log in with your you can log in with your email ID as a director. So in that case, what actually system does is, suppose let's say I have a DIN number, I am currently associated with 5 companies. So you need not search for your SIN number and all. So system will automatically populate whenever you're trying to file CAG1 form by logging through your login. System will automatically show a drop down in which all companies you are currently associated. So in my example, if my DIN is associated with 5 companies, all those 5 companies, you will get it as a drop down value. So you just have to select the drop down relevant SIN number, so that you are not required to remember all the SIN number or punch in the SIN number of this 21 digit number. That is not actually required, especially if you are trying to log in with the director role. So you just have to select from the relevant SIN from the drop down, and you then based on the SIN number, all other details would get pre-populated. And then we have made some minor changes with respect to the declarations. So for example, I'll just show you one of the change that we have made. So as we all know, as per the Companies Amendment Act 2019, so we have removed this concept of condonation in case of CHG 1 and 9. But in the declaration, you still get to see some points relating to condonation related points in V2 layout. So all such changes have been made, and accordingly, so you will not get to see any point relating to condonation in CHG1, because now there is no concept of condonation, and moreover, this form has to be filed within 120 days of your charge creation or modification. So this is about CHG1. We'll now move on to the next form. So next form is for CHG4. This is for satisfaction of charges. So most of the points we've already discussed, but I'll just explain if any additional change or any new enhancement that has been made apart from the points that we've already discussed for CHG1. So first point is this layout processing type. There is no change happened. So the way it is happening currently, if the form is filed within 300 days and both company signatory and charge holder is signed the form, then it will get processed under HTTP mode. If not, then it will go to non-HTTP process. Now, as far as enhancements of layout changes are concerned, form has been made web-based, which is common across all the forms. And then we have removed this attachment called letter of charge holder stating the amount has been satisfied. So this attachment also we have removed, because this form itself is for satisfaction of the charge, and moreover, company and charge holder are signing the form. And all other changes, whatever we've discussed, that is automated response from the company user if the form is filed by charge holder, and signing by IRP, RP, all these changes are common that we discussed already. So we'll now move on to the next form. CHG6, which is required to be filed. This is hardly filed form on MCA's portal, but this form is required to be filed whenever there is any appointment of cessation of receiver or manager happens. So this is again a non-STP form. Due dates are depending on whether you are trying to file for appointment or cessation. So 30 days is the due date. So there is no change happened with respect to the due dates or the processing type as far as CHG 6 is concerned. So now with respect to the enhancements, form has been made web-based, and we have some attachments in CHG 6. So I will just show you the attachments also. You can see here list of specified property of the company in case appointed related to specified. There's attachment number 3 and 4. So the problem with attachments is currently in V2 system, all these attachments are unstructured attachments. So basically, we will not be able to generate any report or run our queries on these attachments, which means that we are not able to utilize this data which is there in our system. So to ensure that we have some data which we can change it to structured format so that it can be utilized for analytics or it can be utilized for some other analysis. So we have removed these attachments in V3 system and we have added the relevant structured data in the layout itself. So I'll just show you the layout of CHG 6. You can see here these fields which we have added, field number 9A and 9B. So 9A and 9B. So we've removed the attachment and we are capturing the data itself within the form. I mean, there is no need to give the attachments which we will not be able to consume it anywhere. So that is the reason why we've removed those attachments and structured data has been captured in the form layout itself. This is one of the enhancements that we have made in CHG 6. So we'll move on to the next form, which is CHG 8. CHG 8 is required to be filed with the regional director whenever there is a delay in satisfaction of the charge. So as I mentioned, the form has to be filed. If not filed within 300 days, then you have to go and get a condonation. Or if you have already filed for creation or modification or satisfaction, but there's some rectification is required due to omission or misstatement in any of those particulars of creation, modification, or satisfaction. So then in that case, you have to go and file this CHG 8 form with regional director. And once this form gets processed, so you will, regional director will issue an order, and that order details you have to go and file it in INC 28, and only after approves that form. So the whatever the form that is, suppose let's say you have delayed satisfaction filing beyond 300 days. We will not stop the filing of CHG 4. We will allow the filing, but once the CHG 4 gets filed, this is as is process and it will be there in V3 as well. Once CHG 4 gets filed, system will not approve this CHG 4 SRN unless you go and get a condonation order through CHG 8, and then you report that order received from regional director to INC 28. Only after approval of INC 28, your CHG 4 SRN will be picked for approval. So this form is required to be filed for all those two scenarios. One is for condonation of delay for in case of satisfaction, because as I mentioned, condonation concept has been removed for creation and modification as part of Companies Amendment Act 2019. As far as changes are concerned, so this form will obviously get processed under non-STP mode, and there is no change in this when compared to V2. All approval forms obviously will go to non-STP for processing. And now, as far as enhancements are concerned, we have removed some attachments, and we have actually, the way we have explained in CHG 6, we have few attachments have been removed, and all those details are captured within the form itself. Examples are like letter of authorization. So in case, so all these charge forms, these forms can be filed by Indian companies or foreign companies also, right? So that is the reason why if you see any of the layout of these charge forms, you will get to see SIN/FCRN. Suppose if foreign company is trying to file these forms, so as per the current V2 structure, so we are asking them to attach one letter of authorization in case authorized representative of foreign company is signing the form. So we have removed this attachment since we are already asking the authorized representative to affix his DSA. That itself shows that he is actually authorizing this particular transaction. So that is the reason why we have removed this attachment. And similar to that, we have some optional attachment and conditional mandatory attachments which are removed in CAG 8. So one such example is copy of the resolution of the board. This attachment has been removed. And there's one optional attachment called balance sheet and annual return of the financial year. So which is optional in nature currently in V2 system. So that is the reason why we've removed this attachment also. And now very important point with respect to the procedural thing. That is automatic notification to ROC. So as I mentioned, this form goes to regional director for processing. So if you look at current V2 system, what is actually happening is I go and file my CAG 8 with RD. Simultaneously, I have to report that I'm waiting for the CAG 8 order, and I will go and intimate it to ROC also through GNL2. So this is what is actually happening practically in the system. But now with V3 system, so what we are doing is we have completely removed this hardship of filing same form at both the places. So what we do is once CAG form gets uploaded on my portal, it goes to the regional director's queue. System will automatically trigger one notification to the concerned jurisdictional ROC for providing his comments. That will not stop the processing of CAG 8 at RD location, but if ROC has any objection or he wants to provide some comments or he wants to give some inputs to the RD, he can do so by using, there's a functionality that we've added in the system called provide comments by ROC. So by using that functionality, ROC can provide his comments directly in the system itself. There is no need to file CAGNL1 by the company in these cases. This is also one of the big enhancements that we have made to ensure that there is no redundancy of filing and there is no redundancy of the data. And now one more enhancement with respect to CAG 8, the function of online payment of cost. So since this form is for approval of condonation or approval of rectification or omission or misstatement, so obviously there may be as part of this back office processing. So company may end up, they may get an order saying that, so since you've delayed this much period or then due to these reasons you have misstated the charge master, so you may have to pay a penalty of so much. Currently also generally you get an order with penalty. But generally what happens is in V2 system, so you have to go and make the payment on FO portal by using miscellaneous service, and there will be a separate SR, and then you have to come back to the ROC RD user and you have to intimate these details. It is basically a lot of manual interventions, and this process itself is cumbersome and it will take a lot of time. So to avoid all this, what we have done is whenever CAG 8 gets filed with the regional director. So regional director, as part of the processing of the form itself, he has to decide whether there will be any cost involved, payment of cost is required to be done for this SRN or not. If yes, suppose let's say if there is a payment of cost is involved, then we'll be providing the order along with the web link to make this payment online only. So there is no need to go back to the FO service or you get an order and then you go and make the payment, made it to ROC. All this process is not required. If entire payment process of this cost will be automated, and user will get an option to make this payment online only whenever there is any cost involved in the RD order, which is not mandatory in all the cases. It depends on the back office user. If he thinks that cost is involved and they have to make a payment of cost, then he will accordingly select the required radio button, and then based on that status and all, so user will get the option to make this payment online only. And then the next 2 points are common points that we've discussed: signing of IRP, RP liquidator for the companies which are under liquidation or under CIRP, and normal refill data and repositioning declaration changes. So this is about CAG 8. CAG 9, this form is required to be filed for creation or modification or rectification of charges for debentures. So all the points that we discussed in case of CAG 1, most of the points are applicable here also. That is from new charge asset types. So we have added auto response to the notice that company has received when charge holder is filing the form. All these steps and changes are common across these forms as well. So with this, we have completed all the charge forms which are covered in set 1 form, that is CG 14968. Now we'll quickly move on to the remaining 4 forms, that is DIR3 KYC form and DPT forms. So as far as DIR3 KYC e-form is concerned, e-form or web form, we have not made any changes. You will get to see exactly the way currently you can see the V2 layout, be it as web form or e-form. It will be exactly the same. There is no change in the due dates or there is no change in the field logic. Everything would remain same. But only one new field that we have added is the jurisdiction police station in case of e-form. So this jurisdictional police station field, wherever we are capturing address, we have added this field in almost across all the forms. Wherever we have this field, you get to see. I think you might have already seen this similar field in all the LLP forms wherever you are capturing address, be it as company address or designated partner's address and all. Apart from this, as far as KYC form is concerned, we have not made any changes. And same way, same logic applies here also, DIR3 KYC web. So there is no change in the process. And this one exception that we wanted to highlight here is DIR3 KYC web form. This form can be filed by the registered user also, because there is no requirement of ESC in case of web. So that is the reason why we wanted to give this exception for DIR3 KYC web the way it is happening in B2, which means DIR3 KYC web form can be filed by any registered user also, apart from all the business users. So we'll quickly move on to the next 2 set of forms, that is DPT3 form, return of deposits. Due date, everything remains same. One change with respect to the processing type here is in B2 system, if you see this form, you will get to see 4 radio buttons. So I'll just quickly open the layout of DPT3 also once. So you can see here return of deposit and particulars of transactions not to be termed as deposits, and with the combination of this purpose number 1 and 2. And then there's a purpose called one-time return. So in V2 system, form is getting processed under STP only in case of particulars of deposits not to be termed as deposit. Only if the purpose number 2 is selected, only then in that case, the form is getting processed under STP in V2 system. But in V3, we have included this one-time return also as part of STP form, because this one-time return is hardly getting filed now. And this purpose also will get processed under STP mode. So same thing you can see in the presentation. So processing type changed to STP in case form is filed either for the purposes or deposits not to be termed as deposits or for one-time return. In these 2 cases, form would go to STP. Now, enhancements with respect to DPT3 form. I'll just go back here, layout. In V2 system, there is one attachment called Auditor Certificate. I'll just open V2 layout also. There's one attachment called Auditor Certificate, which gets enabled if you are filing a form with the return of deposit or in combination of return of deposit option. So what we have done is we have removed this attachment from here and we have added one declaration in the V3 layout. So I'll just show you the declaration. You can see here declaration by statutory auditor. So instead of attachment, so they have to now digitally sign this form by providing their name and designation and membership number or COP number. So this is one of the enhancements that we have made in DPT3 form layout. Quickly move on to the next page. Then attachment of copy of instrument creating the charge has been removed, and SRN of CHG1 and CHG9 is provided. So in V2 system, we have one attachment called copy of instrument creating the charge. So I'll just show you the attachment also. You can see this attachment. We have removed this attachment now. Instead of this attachment, we have added a field called, I'll just show you the layout. You can see here, for particulars of charges, user has to provide if this deposit backed up with the charge and that is a secured charge, then they have to give the how many number of such charges are there and what are all the CHG 1 or 9 SRN which is used for creation of such charge. We have to provide it within the form itself. So if I have the SRN, anyway back office users they can go and check in the record room, right? So they will have access to the MCA, all the documents, all the SRNs. So there is no need to burden this form so much because I have this. If I know the SRN, a back office user can anyway go and check this. Okay, so then we'll go to the next. Just give me 1 minute. Sorry. Then one more change, one more enhancement that we have made is additional data fields added for aging of the money or loan by a company but not considered as deposit. So basically we have one section called section 15 which is required to be filled in if you have a deposits which are not to be termed as deposits. So then in that case, if you look at the current B2 layout, you just have to provide the outstanding amounts. So you can see only one field which is there called closing amount and which is required to be entered for all the items which are listed in the clause C of subrule 1 and subrule 1 of the rule 2 of company's acceptance of deposit rules. So here also we have made some enhancement in V3. You can see here there is no change with respect to the list of fields or because these are coming from your rule only. So there is no change as far as line items are concerned. But here you can see a major change. We are asking the user to enter the opening balance, additions, repayments, and any other adjustments. Basically, we are taking the complete movement from opening to closing. What all changes happened during the financial year. And suppose if I have some outstanding amount, they have to provide the aging also. If I have 100 rupees as my outstanding amount, for each such line item, they have to give the bifurcation of the aging of that closing amount. So this is also one of the major changes that we have made in DPT3 form. And now additional field pertaining to SRN of GNL1 form from here in DPT1 has been filed is included in the form. So this is also one of the new field that you get to see in DPT3 form. For DPT1, so basically currently DPT1 form is getting filed through GNL2 SRN, right? So GNL2 form layout. So whenever form is getting filed with written of deposit or in combination with the written of deposit combination option, they have to give the and if you have a secure deposits and whatever, so if rule mandates the company to go and file DPT1 to GNL2, that SRN number, they have to give it here in field number 17, which is the new field that we have added in V3. You will not get to see this field in V2 layout. And then Excel format for the attachment of list of depositors. So this is also one of the big new enhancement. Currently, if you look at the V2 layout, list of depositors, as I mentioned, all the attachments are unstructured attachments. So you can attach image format, or we will not be able to utilize that data. So now in V3 layout, this attachment would remain same. So you can see here list of depositors, same attachment we will get to see in V3 also. But the change is this, now it will happen in a structured format in the form of Excel. So that Excel also will have a structure and what all fields that you can enter, what are the validations. So everything will come in the system in a structured format. This is also one of the enhancement in DPT3 form. So other changes are normal changes that we discussed in other forms. We'll quickly move to the DPT4, which is the last form in set 1. So this form, DPT4 in V2 system, it is non-HTP form. Now in V3, this is also hardly filed form in MC system as of today. So this form will be processed under HTP mode now, going forward in V3 system. So there are no major enhancement, at least with respect to this form, except change of processing type in V3 system. That is, this form will always be processed in HTP mode in V3. So that is it from our side with respect to the changes or the enhancements that we have made in V3, or because you'll be able to see all these changes in the form in V3 system starting from 31st of August 2022. So I hope that this information will help you while filling the form, because it should not happen that why this field is not coming as an attachment, why it is coming as within the form itself, why not attachment, or why not field, why not declaration. So you will, I hope you got some update on all these forms. Sarika ma'am or Supriya ma'am?
Vidya, just want to add a point out here.
Yeah,
I would request all the stakeholders, whosoever is doing the filing, to actually go through the instruction kit before you go ahead and start the final form. I know you guys are very seasoned professionals, but this time the instruction kit are very detailed one, which will lead you for not the extra work like. Once going through that instruction kit will make things much more clearer. Whatever has been explained by Vijaya or whatever is provided to you, it is very much detailed out in the instruction kit. So even though you have been doing it on a constant basis, but that will be a guiding torch for you to go ahead and do the filing in a proper manner. And second thing is that whatever formats which we are talking about, where the specific formats are there, which is utilized for attaching with the document, that has already been mentioned in those instruction kit. So this is the only thing which I wanted to add. So whatever which has been stated by Vijaya, so just wanted to add that point also. Thank you very much. Vijaya, please.
Yeah, thank you, Seema. Sarika ma'am?
Yeah, thank you, Vijaya, for taking the members through all the 9 forms which will be launched in the first phase for company. When the portal will not be available for the members to file, Vijaya, if you can throw some light, that would be great.
Richa?
Yeah, Richa, you can.
Yes, Sarika ma'am. So in terms of filing on V2 portal, so filing is available till 14th August midnight. So basically from 15th August 12 a.m. we'll stop the filings on V2 portal, and thereafter till the time V3 is launched on 31st of August, filing cannot be done.
For these 9 forms.
For these
Only
9 forms only.
9 forms only. Remaining forms will be functional in V2 itself.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So once again,
and ma'am, just wanted to make sure that the message has been clearly put on the website as well.
Yeah.
Members can go through the message when they can file, well, they cannot file, but this is the time frame where the filing will not happen. And there's a reason that we are doing this, because we have to take a stop of all the data that is getting filed. So parallelly that cannot happen. So these dates are taken to make sure a cutoff of the data has been taken and a fresh filing happens from 1st of September onwards. It is actually 1st of September for user, because we'll be doing 31st August midnight.
Yes. So again, we can talk about these 9 forms. The forms are DIR3 KYC, DIR3 KYC web, CHG forms, which are CHG 1, CHG 4, CHG 6, CHG 8, CHG 9, DPT 3, and DPT 4 for deposits. So for these 9 forms, users are requested to file their forms on V2 portal till 14th of August. From 15th of August till 31st of August, they will not be able to file their forms on V2 portal. On 31st August midnight, government is launching for these particular 9 forms in version 3. You will be able to file the forms in V3 from 1st September onwards. So wherever you are stuck in V2, request you to kindly file your forms if you have not yet done your filing as on date.
Ma'am,
Am I correct, sir?
Ma'am, small correction. It is 31st morning rather than 1st of September. 31st September morning it is. By 30th midnight. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
30th
Sarika ma'am,
midnight
it
you
will
are-
be 31st August, 12 a.m. Portal V3 portal will be open for company module, and all this information is already posted on MCA portal. So
Yeah,
professionals
this is
can go
already
through-
posted.
Yes.
But because in these webinars, our members have joined, they can also guide their companies, or they can also, because they are only filing on behalf of the companies, they can inform the companies to get the data available, or the filings can be done in V2 portal up to 14th of August. Correct? So
Yes,
we
ma'am.
have, the team has taken through all the 9 forms where there is a difference from V2 to V3. What are the basic differences from V2 to V3? And then how to upgrade or log in V3 portal. Request you to kindly upgrade for the directors also from registered users to business users, so that filings are very easy in V3 portal. Now, on behalf of the Corporate Laws and Corporate Governance Committee of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, firstly, I would like to thank JS sir, who is there for almost 2 hours, who has spared his time and is here in this webinar. Then Shri Kumar sir, who is the Joint Director, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, and all other officers of the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. I would like to thank entire LTI team, along with Seema ma'am, then PMU team who are there. Again, LTI team, Mr. Rohit Bhatt, Miss Vijaya, Miss Richa, to explain it in so much of detail so that the members are not facing any difficulty. Again, I would like to thank CA Shripriya Kumar, my chairperson, Corporate Laws Committee in absentia, and CA Preeti Savla, vice chairperson of the Corporate Laws Committee. We will be, if you have any queries, kindly send the mails to us at clcgc@ici.in. We'll keep conducting these kind of webinars for creating awareness. And also we'll keep updating on our website, ici.org, all the details which are required to be done. And none other than the participants who are there. We have 600 participants who are available with us as of now for this version 3 awareness on company and LLP filings. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for being with us. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
ma'am. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.